For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that every one may receive the things done in his body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.
All right, Shalom. I'll start first by saying, giving all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. That's the name of the Heavenly Father. In the name of his Son, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushai. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the house of David, the elect, those that will be chosen for salvation. Shalom. All right, this is part 2 of through the terror of the Lord, knowing the terror of the Lord. And basically, in this, this is the chapter that we didn't get an opportunity to read during our live show the other day. So this is the second part of the mini-series. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17. It says, "For great are thy judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred." And those unnurtured souls are pretty much the 2/3 that didn't get the opportunity, or wasn't chosen, better yet, to get salvation. That didn't get the refreshing. That didn't get the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of these scriptures put into them. You know, that they were found unrighteous souls. They were of their father the devil. It says, "For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence." And those, again, those unnurtured souls were the 2/3, as well as the other heathen nations that can't get salvation. You know, because as we use the example in ancient Egypt, a lot of these terrors were given unto the just the Egyptians and not unto the Israelites. You know, so this will be that same way, but 2/3 of the Israelites also will catch these plagues and these terrors. Verse 3, it says, "For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions." Yeah, and that's gonna come to you people, man. These strange apparitions that you'll be horribly astonished and troubled with troubled. You know, and this chapter is gonna go more into it, because we were talking about if they drop the EMP on America, which North Korea is talking about. They have that technology and they can do it today. If they drop the EMP, man, that darkness, man, you guys don't know what it's like. You know, some of you are afraid of the dark, but you don't know what it's like to have complete darkness with no idea that the light will come back on. You know, without your cell phones and without TV and computers and whatever else, without a street light. You know, all of these things, lamps, whatever else, all these things that give off light. When it's complete darkness and you can't see your hand in front of your face, that's a different thing. That's gross darkness at that point. Reading on, it says, matter of fact, since it said apparitions, I brought something up with apparitions. Yeah. We're gonna go to see what it says. Apparition said, apparition, a ghost or a ghost-like image of a person. Ghost, phantom, specter, spirit. Wraith. Wraith is supposed to be a spirit of revenge, so to speak. A vision, a hallucination, a spook, a phantasm, a revenant, a visitant. You know, it says the appearance of something remarkable or unexpected, typically an image of this type. You know, this has a lot of the same synonyms. So let's go back into the script. Verse 4, it says, for neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. Yeah, man, serious countenance and of visions, were around them. Lots of waters and noise around them, rushing water. These are just some of they're going to list a lot of these things, man. You guys have no clue what's coming for the Lord, but we the men of the Lord, man, we're afraid of these things, man. We know the terror of the Lord. The beginning of the Lord is the fear of the Lord. So this is the fear of the Lord video for you that's coming in, and for us that's been in a while, just kind of a refreshing update of what the Lord do, but not that you forgot, but just for brothers that may need it. It says, verse 5 says, no power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. The Lord come back like a thief in the night, right? It says, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. Like it had nothing to bounce light off of. Because when you're in the middle of nowhere with no other light and nothing around it, the light just absorbs into the darkness. It has nothing to reflect off of and cast off more light. It says, for being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. Yeah, it says, because they had those apparitions and visions, right? It says, as for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. It says, for they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. So all these priests, pastors, these doctors, all of those that claim these Miss Cleo, these I won't say necromancers, not necromancers, but all these other witches and people that say they talk to the dead and can cast out demons and all of that, they're gonna be scared themselves and worthy to be laughed at. How? I thought you can do this. I thought you were the ones to cast these people out, cast these demons out. Well, it ain't gonna be able to do that in that day. It says, and then it also goes with Matthew 7, when it says, for all that said, Lord, Lord, shall not. Let me get it right quick. Yeah, let me just get it right quick, and I'll try to come back to get it right. Matthew the 7th chapter. I just like to just start around 20 and see what we got. Might be further down. Yeah, perfect. 21. It says, Matthew 7:21, for not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then I will profess unto them, in red letter, of course, is Yahushua himself speaking, saying, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Yeah, so it's that serious, man. On the 4th or 5th verse right now. Yeah, I'm down like the 7th verse. Yeah, verse 8. It says, for they that promise to drive away terrors, that said, Lord, Lord, have I not cast out devils, right? For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that pass by and hissing of serpents. Yeah, so when it's that gross darkness around and you can hear the roar of a lion walk past you like 5 to 10 feet away from you, you're going to shit yourself, man. When you can hear rattlesnakes rattling and snakes hissing around you, you're going to piss on yourself, man. You know, feeling like they're right there. Verse 10, it says, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. They saw something that they thought was nothing, but it was there, but it wasn't. It was in their minds. It says, for wickedness condemned by their own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience, always forecasting grievous things. Because your thoughts and your deeds were evil. You know, so those forecasted grievous things unto you. It says, for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth. Yeah, if you would have reasoned, you wouldn't be so scared of those things. That's why knowledge and wisdom will be the stability of thy times, as it says in Isaiah the 33rd chapter, the 6th verse. Unto the men of the Lord, unto those that are to be saved, you know, that really believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, that stored up all of this money in their spiritual bank accounts. Verse 12 says, for fear is nothing else. Yeah, I'm going to read it again. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offered. The succors are the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And when you betray that's what you'll have that fear. It says, verse 13, and the expectation from within, being less, counted the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. It says, but they sleeping the same sleep at that night. But they sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable. You couldn't even sleep. You had nightmares, like the Freddy Krueger nightmares. Those were apparitions as well, and visions. It says, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of inevitable hell, of the grave and torment, man. It says, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted. Their heart faileth them. Their minds are failing them. They can't reason. They can't understand what they're seeing and what's going on. For a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them. For things you didn't even expect were coming upon you. Your newly created creatures, wild beasts catch it like, how could it get in here? But they in there with you. You know? Imagine you hear the roar of a lion and you trying to stand still, and all of a sudden his tail tap up against you. You gonna shit yourself, man. Or some giant snake or lizard or anything, man. Reptile of some sort. You people gonna lose your minds, man. Where we at? Verse 16, it says, so then whosoever there fell down was straitly kept, shut up in a prison without iron bars. Yeah, so now you're imprisoned within your own mind, within the wickedness of your own spirit has now trapped you into this fearful state, you know, like a prison. It says, for whether he were a husbandman or shepherd or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity, which could not be avoided, for they were all bound with one chain of darkness. Yeah, these fleshly bodies, you know, and had the temptation and the sin that came with them, you know, but overcoming those sins, you know, by rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of your ability. That's how you do that. You know, you store it up in your spiritual bank account with that. Verse 18, it says, whether it were a whistling wind or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a trembling sound of stones cast down, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts. Imagine you heard a stampede coming towards you. A stampede of wild beasts coming towards you. And, right? It says, or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts, like a lion roaring, or you know, something like that. Just a bear, any savage beast that just dinosaurs, whatever, man. These things are going to be in your mind. These things are going to torment you. It says, or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains. These things made them to swoon for fear. Yeah, these things were going to be made particularly for you to swoon with fear. For you to cower and to grope at nothing for fear, man. You're not gonna know what to do. You're gonna hold, Lord willing, another video we'll get there. Men holding their loins as a woman that travaileth, you know. But that's how scared you people are gonna be. Verse 20: For the whole world shineth with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Over them was spread in heavy night an image of that darkness which should afterward receive them, but yet they were unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. The darkness itself, when the Lord covers the skies and everything's turned to darkness, these apparitions in that darkness within their minds going to be even worse. So he's going to torment your minds out there, man. You know, if you don't get right with this thing, the Lord is going to torment your minds. You know, so that I'm gonna conclude that for this episode. That I say shalom unto those that really do have the fear of the Lord within them. That I say shalom.